Good evening. In the last previous class, last Sunday, we discussed about television productions. Television, how television functions, how television programs are produced, what are the different types. Okay. And how electronic news gathering was performed. People involved in the production of news, techniques used in producing news bulletins, camera movements, camera shots. Okay, all these are discussed. Today, the 8th and 9th chapter, we'll discuss about the film. So what is the film? Film is a visual language telling a story, okay, with the help of moving images. If you take any heavy movie or video, actually it is a combination of photos. So how the movement captured in a cinema camera or movie camera. So it creates in a second 20. It captures 24 photos of a moving person. Okay, in a second it clicks 24 photos. Okay, for 1 second they captures 24 frames. Frame is a photo. Actually, it is an individual photo. If you combine 24 photos in a 1 second, if you play that one, it will give you a motion. And it will give you like a, so how I am moving my hands here and there. So same way. So that means, so cinema camera captures or movie camera captures first one photo, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, up to 24 in a second. So once you the 1 second video like this, that means the moving of hand or palm. Okay, so in a fraction of second it will so combining all these 24 photos into 1 second makes a movie. Movie means 1 second movie, 1 second movie clip. Okay, so here say in the television also same. So, but in the television, they captures in India, we use the PAL standard, phase alternating line standard, that gives that captures 25 frames per second. Okay, in movies, they captures only 24 frames. Okay, in television in India, we use PAL standard. PAL standard describes the 25 frames per second. Okay, 58 per second. But in a movie, they captures 24 frames. That is called 24 crafts. There are different like art, direction, photography, cinematography, action. There are number different music backgrounds. There are different crafts. 24 crafts. So 24 photos will make a 1 second movie. So with the help of this pictures, okay. So what's the difference between a TV programs and that means news programs and movies? So news programs like news bulletins, we are telling the story what is happened. Okay, as it is. Okay, something has happened, so just we'll cover and we'll record and we'll telling the story what happened. But in a it is a non-fictional, right? If it is a movie, it is a fictional. So any movie, take any example of any movie, either it may be 1.5 minute, one and a half hour, or 2.5 hours. In India, usually films are about 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours, or sometimes it may be 3 hours. Okay, in that 3 hours or two, if you take example of that 2.5 minutes movie, in that 2.5 minutes, we want to tell a story. We want to convey the message. In that message there may be a emotion, different emotions, like okay, so sometimes family drama, sometimes horror, sometimes comedy. Okay, different emotions of human being will be. While telling the story also, they use a different formats. Okay, are you following? So different. So with the help of movie or with the help of this all the emotional experience, will make it. So in the here artist means the actor who is performing in the film. They'll create emotions. So sometimes మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, కొన్ని మూవీస్ చూసి కళ్ళకు మనకే నీళ్ళు వస్తాయి అలా ఎమోషన్స్ చూసి, అలా ఏడవడం చూసి. ఓకే, సో దట్ మీన్స్ దే ఆర్ creating such emotions. So that may be included with the camera movements or lighting and background music. These all are important factors to create emotions, right? What else? So basically the Hindi belt movie, basically Mumbai based film industry called Bollywood, everybody knows that one, and Telugu industry based in Hyderabad is called Tollywood. Okay, so the number of movies produced per year. Today I read in Hindu paper, there may be 172 films were made from the Kerala, a Mollywood. They call it as a Mollywood. So in the Kerala itself, they produced 172 films in a year, single year. So that in Tollywood also there may be produced number of films, but in that there may be only 5 or 6 or less than 10 movies were got people attention, and they collected the huge amounts. So in that include KGF. KGF is a pan-India movie. RR. Okay, some other movies, right? Okay. Anything else we need to? So the first, if you talk about history of film, motion picture. So why it is called a motion picture is, so actually it is a collection of pictures, photos. So if you play in a second, that's the definition. That gives you a motion, that movement to that photos. Actually, if you observe, the earlier days they have a reel. Okay, in that reel, if you observe, you have any knowledge of that reel. So if you are born 80s or 90s, you'll have just knowledge about that. Earlier it was a camera with a reel. Okay, 35 photos or 33 photos. You can click 32 or 34 photos, or sometimes 36. Kodak or Konica for the example. Okay, in that if you open that reel, and if you saw that saw the pictures, all are still images, right? All are still images, so no movement. But if you play in a sequential order, in a second duration, so even though there is a difference between the number of frames seconds per second, if you shot 1,000 frames per second, it will give a slow motion. Okay, so nowadays there are cameras which can shoot 1 lakh frames per second, or 1 lakh, or sometimes 1,80,000 frames per second. Okay, I saw in a recent phantom camera, I read about that. It can capable of shooting 1,80,000 frames per second. If you observe in a YouTube video such as the slow motion guy, so they shot around 10,000 frames per second, 60,000 frames per second. Okay, in a second of duration, that camera is capable of shooting 60,000 photos. So imagine how much fast it can capture the images. Okay, so if you read about the history, sorry, the first movies to Raja Harishchandra to the talkie movies and Mookie, first Mookie movies. Then the first narrative film in India is Pundalik. NG Chitra is the, is that, sorry, 1 second. Pundalik, the first feature film in India was named Pundalik by NG Chitra, and Tony was the director. The first feature full-length movie is the Raja Harishchandra, made in 1913. The black and white movie. It is directed by the Dada Saheb Phalke. So on his name, the highest movie in a movie, highest award. His name given in his name. Okay. So if you read about the history of feature films, so we'll find out this. Okay. So there are different types of movies. Okay, feature films. So feature film is a so it's like every day we are watching movies now. That is called feature film. In that there may be a story. There may be one concept. Based on that, they develop the concept and they produce. Okay, that is it is a fictional. So sometimes fictional or sometimes based on the characters, real story. So they will recreate. So here is basically the feature film means what even the story may be original one, or real one, or fictional one, or non-fictional, fictional one, but they are recreating the scenes. They're recreating the situations. So that is the difference. For example, the life of the Christ, life of Buddha, or if you take any, so for example, in our Indian movie, Mahabharatam. So that is a feature film. So for example, Danavina Surakarna of RR cinema or Bahubali cinema, they all are fiction, right? The fictional characters, they develop, they create an emotional movie out of 2.5 hours duration. Okay, so from the beginning to end, they will tell a story in 2.5 hours. Right? All characters are not the original one; they are recreated. Even if it is, for example, some movie on Dawood Ibrahim. Okay, for example, take an example. Original. So that character is created by another person, not the original Dawood Ibrahim. Right? That is a feature films. So some films are documentary based one. The documentary based one, for example, documentary on Gandhi. In that documentary, the original Gandhi, was filmed. Our original Gandhi was filmed, and the story will be narrated. Got it? The feature film, that is a fictional film, it may be original or a story based on the original characters, or not. But the documentary film is, in the documentary, the characters are original. The persons who are in the documentary are real. So, for example, the life of Gandhi, to take all the documentary shows the original video clips of the Mahatma Gandhi or Ambedkar. For example, life of Ambedkar, for example. So all the video clips and the story will be narrated. Okay, that is the. So if you want to tell the story, sometimes for user, sometimes they maybe recreate some scenes or visuals also in a documentary also, but it's just a real story. Okay. Here, the difference between a feature film and documentary is, in a feature film, you can add or delete whatever you visualize, whatever you think, that will be there in the feature film. But it is on your imagination, not your fiction characters. But in a real, in a documentary, the characters are real one, or sometimes the characters are, the story is based on a real character. Got it? So sometimes, for example, documentary on Mahatma Gandhi or Ambedkar, if you talk, they may be take some clips of original Gandhi and Ambedkar, or sometimes they make recreate. So, for example, there is a Pune Pact between Ambedkar and Gandhi. So that visual you may not find. Some just assume. So if you don't find any visual related to that pact, so you may recreate. It may be possible to recreate the scene, and you can capture, and you can tell the story. What the documentary says, documentary and reality genuine, it's happened, recent or happening, or it may be a story, right? That is the difference. Hope you understand the difference between the film, feature film, and documentary. So next, different. So in India, there are different organizations who helped in the growth of Indian film. So there are film division. Film division is established in 1948 in Mumbai. The film, so its main duty is to record, propagate, and preserve the achievements of Indian movie celluloids. Indian celluloids. అంటే భారతదేశంలో వచ్చే ఫిల్మ్స్ కానీ అన్ని రికార్డ్ చేసి పెట్టడం, లేకుంటే మంచి సినిమాలు అనుకోండి అట్లా ప్రాపగేట్ చేయడం అండ్ ప్రెజర్వ్. సో ఇఫ్ యూ, సరే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 1913లో పుండలిక్ మూవీ వాజ్ రిలీజ్. 1913 అంటే అబౌట్ 110 years ago almost. So if I want to watch that movie, so if this National Archives film archives preserve చేసి పెట్టలేదు అనుకోండి, it's not possible to watch. Okay, a film division will do that task. So its main charge is to record, propagate, and preserve the achievements of Indian movies. So it is also create a link between a government and a people, and it also encourages the documentary filmmakers. Okay, so its main task is to agency. It is the largest national agency devoted for production and distribution of short films and other educational and children films distributed to cinema house in the country. So this film divisions are have 9 branches all over the country, located in Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Lucknow, Chennai, Madurai, Nagpur, Thiruvananthapuram, and Vijayawada. Okay, so in a national, okay, these are the film division, different divisions. So this film division also produces documentaries based on subjects like agriculture, rebel welfare, and any public information films. Okay, this is the film. So these are all works under the MIB, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Union Government, Central Government కింద వర్క్ చేస్తాయి, యూనియన్ గవర్నమెంట్ కింద. ఓకే, నేషనల్ ఫిల్మ్ డివిజన్ అండ్ నేషనల్ ఫిల్మ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ కార్పొరేషన్. National Film Corporation, Film Development Corporation is the central agency established to encourage a good cinema movement in the country. Okay, its primary goal is to plan, promote, organize, and integrate and efficient development of Indian film industry and foster excellence in cinema. So its main aim is to plan and promote, organize, and integrate the efficient development of Indian film industry, and it promotes the good cinema. Okay, it was established in 1980 with the objective to promotion of good cinema. Okay, sometimes, for example, I want to make a documentary, so I can apply for a finance also. So if I give a some what is called proposal to NFDC, National Film Development Corporation. If they like your concept or your output, your expected output, they may finance your film. Okay, they will give a funding for the development of film. Okay, sometimes this National Film Development Corporation also works if the movies are good. Okay. So its main task is to exporting of Indian films and distributing in other countries. It also comes under the National Film Development Corporation and Central Board of Film Certification. So I think all these are discussed in the last class. So Central Board of Film Certification gives it is the central government body. It regulates, so it certifies, so which category these films comes under. Okay, so for example, if you watch a movie, okay, whether this film can be watched publicly or with children, only this film is meant for children or adults. Okay, you can observe that the name of the movie title, you'll find the U by A, sometimes A, sometimes U. So that means this film can be watched under the guidance of this can be watched by children as well as adults. Or sometimes if you get a grade, even that film, if there is a violence, crime, and sexual nudity, everything is there, that will not be allowed to watch. Children will not be allowed to watch that movie. So for that, they give you a certification. So if there is a family related movie, you may get a U by A, or sometimes only U. U means you can watch, anybody can watch the movie. Okay, that certificate will be given by this Central Board of Film Certification Board. So it has branches in Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, even our Hyderabad has its CVFC center. Okay, office. So that you can, if you want to screen in a public places, you need to apply for the certification. So whether they will decide whether your film can be screened at any place or not. Okay, so the National Film Archives of India. So this is based in Pune. headquartered in Pune in 1964. It was started. So its role is to archive the films. So any film. So if, for example, I want to get the older films. For that, so somebody has to store, right? Somebody has to store, and in the future also we can read whether these films are available or not. This National Archive, Film Archives, store. Its vision is to committed to acquisition, preservation, and restoration. For example, in 1913, the Pundalik movie was released in 1913. So at least 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago. So that copy may not be perfect. For that, they will restore. And they'll copy, and if there is any corrections, and they will connect. For during the last these 100 years, see, for example, cinema. There are a number of films. Actually, NTR films were restored now. Restored means earlier it was black and white. Now they repaired the print and make it as a digital one and with a color. So there are a number of films. Okay. So that mission will be, if it is a, if it takes, so it has a copy, if they want to preserve it for generation, that will be taken by this National Film Archives of India. Otherwise, for example, movie, I forgot its name. The classic movie. It's some movie on the Mahabharata. I forgot its name. So they restored. That means they converted into black and white to color one. So who colored? Not this National Film Archives of India. So they may be funded. This National Film Division also may funding, but they want to restore. They want to preserve it for future generation. So that one of the task of this MIB, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and other one is the Director of Film Festivals. Whenever there may be a number of film festivals like Cannes Film here in the Goa Film Festival, Indian International Film Festival of something IFF. So it happens in Goa. So recently they concluded that film festival. So film festival main objective is to encourage, promote good filmers from across the world. Okay. So for example, Palana, they will bring that movie and screen it here in a film festival, so that everybody can watch and they can learn it from that film. That was the main objective of the film. That one. And so, what are the trends in a contemporary cinema? So, there are no doubt the film must be treated as the distinct form of art, the most modern form of fine arts, right? So, it has a link with the music, dance, drama. Okay. It also has individual artistic, right? So even individual character also act. Okay. So there are films based on topics like mythology, religion, history, social problems, sex, romance, war, etc. Films also are the cheapest source of entertainment for mass, right? So earlier it was not available. So in the 80s or 90s, only there are few TV sets in India. Even in my place, there are only 2 or 3 TV sets the entire village, my village. But nowadays, everybody has their own TVs. So that time, if I want to watch, before that, nobody has the television sets. For that, everyone, so for example, 1950s, 60s, 70s, that time if you want to watch a movie, need to go theater, and theater means maybe it may be cheapest one, not like a multiplex now. So they can watch the films. Okay. So it's the cheapest one, cheapest entertainment for the public. Right? So nowadays we'll find out the home theater setup. So instead of going to the theater, so some affluent persons, they're creating their own theater in their home. It's called a home theater. So in a home theater, you will see a big screen and the surround system. Sound system means the sound system speakers were placed in different locations to give a exact location of the sound source. It may be a 5.1 or 7.1 or 2.1, not 2.1 or 9. Nowadays 9.1 also there. That means when some speaker, so speakers are placed in different locations. For example, some car is moving from left to right. So left to right means during that time the car sound comes from the left side, this side, and it comes to the direction and most to the right side. So first this speaker works, second this speaker, third this one, fourth this, fifth that one. Okay, so all the speakers will goes to. So this same experience will be get through this home theater. So it's a soundproof one, and with the help of speakers and technique that will be created. Okay, nowadays before that the cathode, so now LCD is now LD, or the UHDs. These all are developments of technology, right? So this is the what we want to realize. So basically, the films are audio visual medium. So no doubt you'll get audio as well as video. So with the emotion, with the short and time duration, you will get the complete story, not like series or serials. In a film, in the limited duration, it's a time and span. So with the 2 hours, you will get the complete story. So how they manage to tell the story. This is the one of the important medium of audiovisual. Sorry. Okay. So there are in the previous class also we discussed. So there are different relevance for a social change, the cultural aspects. For example, I want to see the cultural aspects of 1950s. ఓకే 1950లో కల్చర్ ఎలా ఉండేది అంటే ట్రెడిషనల్ అవన్నీ ఎలా ఉండేది అని చూస్తే మనం ఆ టైంలో ఉన్న ఫిల్మ్స్ కానీ మూవీస్ కానీ చూస్తే మనకు అర్థమైపోతుంది. ఆ టైంలో కార్ ఎలా ఉండేది, ఆ టైంలో మొబైల్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ అంటే దట్ టైం ఓన్లీ దిస్ ల్యాండ్ ఫోన్ వాజ్ దేర్, రైట్? ఓన్లీ ల్యాండ్ ఫోన్. సో ఆ ల్యాండ్ ఫోన్ ఎలా కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఉండేదో మనకి ఈజీగా అర్థమైపోతుంది. ఓహో, ఫస్ట్ టెక్నాలజీ వాజ్ లైక్ దట్. Okay, so with that, the films are playing a crucial role in preserving the cultural and technical aspect, right? If you watch 1930s or 50s movies, you will get to know the transport mode, even their house equipments. Okay, household equipments. Equipments means how the washing machine was there, how the telephone works. So earlier we used to use this wired telephone. Nowadays, mobile phones. So in that movie, you may not find the mobile phones because the technology was different from that to here nowadays. So if you want to know the aspects of 1930s, if you watch the movies, you will know some aspects of the 1930s, 100 years ago. Okay, their culture, their language. Even the language also different from the old movies to nowadays movies, right? With this, I'm concluding here, as nobody had joined our class. Okay, nobody interested in classes. So thank you very much.